how you gonna play, you know, 2 of everything? Something's got to be better than the other, right?
I got 2 words for you.
But hold on, can I say one more thing before you go?
Go ahead.
No, I'm not.
I got 2 words for you.
Wait, no, I just want to.
I hear you. Heartless Summoning.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Yep, I've got your attention now at home, don't I?
How many evil twins? Is this Michael Burnett?
This is 0 evil twins here. What we have are
Michael Burnett?
we have Cryptgas, Gristlebrand, Thragtusk, Wolfer, Silverheart, Prime Speaker, Zagana, Clone, Farseek, Heartless Summoning, Unburial Rites, Mutilate, Tracker, and
How do you clone and not evil twin?
I didn't design the deck. You should ask Michael.
Hey, Michael!
Maybe Clone's better.
Explain. Explain.
I don't know why it would be better. I'm just saying it could be better.
All right.
That's all.
A couple like value Unburial Rites in both decks, which is interesting. Faithless Looting. I mean, besides the Unburial Rites, he also got Lingering Souls, but Faithless Looting basically has a draw spell in this deck.
Yeah, it is.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
you don't see that very
often. I can't
often.
remember who this deck was designed by, but the first time we saw this deck, it actually made the top 4 of the MOC. I believe in MOCS.
Yeah, the
one
Supreme Verdict one.
The one that's the Pillar Flame one.
Yeah. The Supreme Verdict was the promo.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the Pillar Flame bug not working, so the finals was Zombie Mirror.
That's
right?
correct.
Yes.
That's correct. As we do see Mike Wilson casting a Farseek here, he led off with a Godless Shrine into a Woodland Cemetery. So I'll probably search for something that can add a little bit of blue mana here. And there is a Watery Grave. Jared has just begun with a Godless Shrine and a Sacred Foundry on his end. So things are not going to be quick here, but they will heat up in what is likely to be just a match full of haymakers back and forth.
I was going to say, this match is awesome because it's just a bunch of sweet cards from both decks, and neither deck is like truly an established archetype, right? Neither is a staple of the metagame. So surely these players have not played against these decks before, and I don't think these decks have necessarily ever even interacted in the history of Magic.
Yeah.
Because they are 2 quite unique builds. So it's going to be interesting to see. I honestly have no idea how this is going to play out, so it's going to be very cool to see what happens.
We've got an Isolated Chapel into a Boros Reckoner, and that is a very good Magic card as Mike draws a Breeding Pool.
It is the only 4-of creature in Petefish's deck, and he has 1 Blasphemous Act to go big.
Combo.
Yes.
Now we see Mike tapping 4 mana here, so what is it going to be? It's going to be a Mutilate. Those are going to have to
Mutilate.
And he does have 3 swamps with a basic Swampy Watery Grave and a Godless Shrine. As you see Jared kind of peek over and make sure that's going to kill the Boros Reckoner. The reason Mike did that is because his hand is chock full of Thragtusk and Prime Speaker Zagana.
That's pretty good.
As Mike draws a Clone for the turn.
Evil Twin.
There's an Overgrown Tomb coming to play untapped. Mike going to move down to 18.
And then
he's going to get a little swaggy. Thragtusk is here.
Back up to 23. So
this is like the ultimate test for Jared's deck, right? Like Thragtusk is like the pillar of the format.
Exactly.
One of the most important cards. So
and
how does he do against this card?
You're like all 1-for-1 removal deck.
Yeah.
Like obviously Reckoner is a pretty solid answer to the Thragtusk, but really if you're using things that Jared has like Tragic Slip and Dreadbore, and Mizium Mortars, that's you're gonna be down on the exchange.
We call this the litmus test, right here. So you do see a an Obsidian, in
Obsidian
in Jared's hand. Does he have the land to play it? It doesn't look like he does. Okay,
I see
a Dragon School Summit, and I see the requisite mana to be able to cast this bad boy.
And he's just thinking about whether he wants to go like double removal spell, because he's got the Tragic Slip and the Mortars, or just run Daddy out there.
I think you want to get that established as fast
for
as
sure,
you can.
For sure.
And we'll bring Obsidian on the screen for you guys so you can take a look at this thing, which
is
a
mythical rare.
This is a card that is like a fringe player right now, but it's just like there's no way this card just doesn't dominate at some point in its life in Standard.
Well, I mean,
it's just too good not to.
It's no Beckon Apparition, right?
That's correct. That's correct. A few things are. But if anything can challenge Beckon Apparition for the best Orzhov common, I think that this would be it.
Yeah, it is quite good. I mean, the original Ghost Council from Ravnica proper was a deck. It was, you know, a big player in that metagame. And this one is pretty much just as good.
Now you're going to see a Heartless summoning here by Mike, and you're going to see a Wolfhair Silverheart. So tag team back again.
Why's there a counter on the Thragtusk? Is that just to indicate -1/-1?
I believe that's what that counter is there for, but the counter actually does not represent anything.
Yeah.
It could represent soul bonding.
I think that's what they're talking about right now.
Yeah. But there's no reason for there to be a die on there, as Heartless summoning actually does has a state-based effect, which gives -1/-1. But I guess we're gonna have the dies there for clarification.
No, this is make relationship.
Yeah.
Is what these dice are for. He went to number 3.
Indeed.
To indicate a soul bond of 2.
Well, the 3, of course, is for +3/+3. Because Heartless Summoning is giving -1/-1. You see, you
pieced it together.
It comes full circle. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. You pieced it together.
Now, Heartless Summoning is a card we're going to bring up on the screen as well. A card that, as we do play this game, you're going to see a Lingering Souls here. A card that, has seen some fringe play. You saw Ali Antrazi try to give this a whirl to a little bit of success, but a card that has this kind of text, creatures you cast cost 2 less. You would think this card would have been a little bit better in its life through standard.
It is a powerful effect. There is no denying that. The question is whether you can get enough value from it to overcome not only your creatures being smaller, but also the card you're investing, because you do have to have the summoning and cast it. That's quite a bit of ground to overcome, and you also need your deck to function without it in case it dies or you don't draw it. Which means you have to have castable guys that are really expensive because you need to get value out of the Heartless Summoning. It's hard to build the deck properly, and you can get a lot of really wonky draws where you have a bunch of Heartless Summonings and like smaller dudes, or a bunch of super expensive dudes but without the summoning, and yeah, it's definitely a powerful effect. It's just how you use it.
I mean, we've seen fringe cards or unique cards like this before that have had some success, and others that have not. And it's a little bit surprising to see something where it feels like they really got to push to the limit on what a card like that can do.
For sure.
And it just really hasn't found a home because it is so goofy and wacky, where you kind of want to build your deck around it, but when you don't draw it, that's like a huge problem, because you're going to see Thragtusk.
But this is like a combo-esque sequence right here. Like, look at.
I mean, this is an impressive like turn.
Yes.
Here, without question.
But what you have to ask yourself is that better than just having cast them one by one?
Yeah, having an investment, and
of a card and your guys being smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see Obsidian come back. We're gonna see the drain plus gain. And Jared's gonna draw a card. He's going to draw a Blood Crypt, so he can go Overload on the Mizium Mortars if he'd like to.
Turn 4 2s into 2 2s.
I don't hate that.
I mean, what else are you gonna do, really?
There's a Blasphemous Act over there as well.
Is that his 2-card hand? Because that's pretty good.
That looks to be that 2-card hand. You
Yep.
see Mizium Mortars, Blasphemous Act, and the Blood Crypt that was drawn for the turn.
Definitely could be worse for Mr. Petefish here. Love that last name.
Blood Crypt comes into play on tap. Jared gonna go down to 16.
Kabloomers, Destruction.
What AJ said is what's gonna resolve. Mizium Mortars.
Throwing out these references, just going over Sed's head.
Mizium Mortars is going to happen.
Let's get some tokens.
We'll get some beast tokens out here for you guys.
Here we
They
go.
are going to be 2/2 beast tokens.
I'm gonna trade Obsidian for. Oh, okay. I thought he was attacking. He is phasing.
Yeah, no, Obsidian's going to go back into hiding. Mike's going to draw a card as he is. He has a Watery Grave, and it looks like he has a Watery Grave plus Breeding Pool are the cards in his hand. So he is cardless right now. It's something like a Prime Speaker Zagana to be able to draw some cards, get back into this game a little bit, maybe a Tracker's Instincts. But he doesn't have any of those right now.
Tracker's Instinct is another card that's super powerful and super underplayed. I mean, it was in like Fright Stacks, but just as a value card with a couple flashback cards and a bunch of really awesome guys worth getting. Tracker's Instinct's, I mean, it's Super one,
Yeah,
you know?
you would think it'd be a little bit better.
Yeah.
As you see Mike play that breeding pool, he does attack for 4 with those beast tokens. Leaves 1 beast back to block, as you're going to see Obsidian come back. Going to gain Jared 2, push him to 14, excuse me. Mike's going to go down to 25 here, and Jared's going to draw
so much life.
another
Ooh,
Mizium
another
Mortars.
Mortars is big game.
And overloading that is pretty elementary.
That's why he plays 3.
Yeah. As you do see Mizium Mortars clear the board, took out the first half of those Thraxus, a second one able to take out the rest of them.
And Jared has him all the way down to starting life total.
Yeah, you see Obsidian knocking Mike down to 20,
Farseek.
and then it flips away.
Farseek not the best draw, but I mean, it's a 3-turn clock from here. Obsidian hits for 7, drains for 2, hits for 5, drains for 2, hits for 5. That's very fast. Mike Wilson is dead very soon.
And Mike does just cast the Farseek after
what are
playing
you
the
gonna
Water
do?
Grave, so gonna thin his deck out a little bit and hope to, you know, draw something off the top to get himself out of this one. But Obsidian looking to close this game out in short order, and of course Jared does have plenty of good cards left to draw.
He does have exactly enough mana to Unburial Rights and Flashback. So on Unburial Rights is double Thragtusk, which is pretty good.
Yep.
What other giant guys does he have? Well, Prime Speaker is not so good here, but he does have 3 Gristlebrand.
Yeah,
now that would be a draw.
Can't complain too much about Gristlebrand. He does have Wolf or Silver Art, which isn't at its best right now. Mutilate is not going to do very much either. Tracker's Instinct can kind of tie the room together, help him find some things that he's looking for. But regardless, he's going to need to find them in
If it's going to be
2
Instinct,
turns.
it's got to be soon.
Yeah. And you see Vault of the Archangel now. A card that we'll bring up on screen for you as well.
Now it's fully draining for 7 instead of draining for 2, hit for 5. There's so much life gain in Standard right now.
There is a lot of life gain, yes. Even your invitational card, Centaur Heal.
Yeah, my favorite card ever printed.
Once again, players in $10 draft.
So that's going to go away.
This is a big sweat. Like, Mike has so many good draws in his deck. There's a Gristle Daddy.
No, I think that was a Cryptcast. I think that was a Cryptcast. You got excited. You wanted
it. Was a black card. It looks like he's gathering a lot of lands together.
A lot of lands.
And he just passes. I guess we were both wrong.
Were we both wrong?
It looked like a sweet black card. That's all I'm saying. It was probably another Heartless something.
Frowntown. Godless Shrine, the card drawn for Jared to go along with that Blasting Sack that he does have in reserve.
Hey, he's fine both people blanking here because he is well far ahead.
In comes Obsidian again.
Drain you.
And now you see Lingering Souls get flashed back. You'll see the Godless Shrine come into play, and he's just going to pass the turn back. Does not phase out Obsidian.
What was that? I've seen all these sweet cards, but he didn't windmill slam anything, so
There's a Swamp.
Well.
And there's a Cryptcast.
Alright, a chump blocker.
And this is actually going to come back. I mean, this game's going to go an extra turn where it probably doesn't need to because of...
Oh, never mind.
Because he didn't sync out the Obsidian, but a Liliana in the Veil off the top is going to make Mike sacrifice that Cryptcast to the -2 ability, and
whoa, did he not? He not blank?
No, he did not.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Mutilate would have been a little awkward then.
Yeah, a little bit, slightly, but either way, Jared Petefish is going to win Game 1 off the back of a Obsidian, as Mike is going to go over to the sideboard and hope that he actually draws something to do with that Heartless Summoning.
Can I just say I love how in Jared Petefish's sideboard, the second and third cards right next to each other are Unburial Rights and Rest in Peace.
Oh, that's fun. That's nice right there.
He also has 2 Purify the Graves, so it's just, you know, mixing up your...
It's a contrast in styles.
Yes.
That's all that is. But taking a look at Mike Wilson's sideboard here, you're going to find 3 copies of Appetite for Brains. Now, that's a card that I typically don't find to be very good in this matchup. And taking a look at the deck list over here.
2 Obsidian, 2 Aristocrat, 2 Aurelia, 1 Olivia, 2 Unburial Rights, and 1 Blasphemous Act in the main deck.
So it's a card that I don't think... is incredibly good in this matchup, but when you lose to Obsidian, it might influence your decisions on what you want to sideboard in. So we might see Appetite for Brains come in when it probably shouldn't. Other cards that can come in here, See 3 copies of Acidic Slime, don't really think you're going to want that. 2 copies of Cyclonic Rift, not really at its best. An additional copy of Unburial Rights to go with his 3 in his main deck. And then a card that we haven't really seen for a while, and I'm not sure how good it is here at all, and in general, is Vraska the Unseen. A card I actually kind of forgot existed.
The green-black Planeswalker?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, I also...
I actually forgot that existed.
Yeah.
Because there was so much hype around it, and then, like, you know, you draft Return to Ravnica.
And then it wasn't even good in Limited.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we might see those come in as well. But not a lot of things that really stand out to you as cards that really jump out to take down this white-black-red deck that was actually designed by Nicotine Jones on Magic Online.
Nicotine Jones.
And it was also recently played by Bing Luke.
The Bing Luke?
Yes, the Bing Luke. If you play Magic Online, you know that name.
Yes.
Problesis? Is that how you pronounce his screen name? Prolepsis. Thank you.
He is Prolepsis 9.
A very,
Moto.
very powerful magician.
Moto Master.
Yes.
Like, him and Reed Duke, like, came out together as, like, the 2 big Moto guys after Brad, FF Freak, Nelson. And both put up amazing results. Bing, like, works and is, like, an adult. So he doesn't have quite the results, quite the resume as Reed, who has, you know, done some pretty awesome things.
Yeah.
But
Being much
Bing
older
is,
than Reed, too.
Yes, but Bing is also just a stone master. So if he chose this deck, you know, there's got to be something to it.
Yeah.
So let's look at the sideboard for Jared. He has some Sorens, an Unburial Rights, the 4th Mizium Mortars, the 2nd Blasphemous Act, Dreadbore, Liliana, 2 Purify the Grave, and 2 Rakdos's Return. So what are you thinking here? Heartless Summoning is actually pretty good against Rakdos's Return in like a weird way, because it helps you empty your hand before the return goes off. And without Farseek, I don't know if Jared's deck is going to be able to, you know, do it before it matters, or do it while it still matters. Does Jared know to bring in the Purify the Graves? Is a question.
Did not see Unburial Rights in that game.
He did not. But a lot of the cards that he did see are good with Unburial Rights.
Yeah.
So, you know, can he put 2 and 2 together there? I guess it's a little more complicated than 2 and 2. 2 and 2 is pretty easy. You know, can he do that? I don't know. I'd say it's like 2nd year algebra. it's like you can like naturally do it, but once you're taught, you could like probably figure it out pretty easily.
Yeah, you can figure out the X and the Y's.
Yeah, exactly. I was really good at math before they started putting numbers in there, or putting letters in my numbers.
So I think this is a matchup that probably does favor the white, black, red, right stack. I mean, we saw Mike Wilson's deck actually kind of do what it was supposed to that game, and then, I mean, he still, it didn't seem like Jared had much trouble dealing with that. I mean, he did draw a 2nd Mizium Orders to kind of clear the 2/2s out of the way, but I think that Obsidian may have taken that game over anyway, even if he didn't do that. So, you know, it might revolve around Michael actually having to draw Heartless Summoning into Gristlebrand to be able to win this matchup, or, you know, a timely Prime Speaker Zagana. Because we do see both players underway here. Godless Shrine for Mike on the left. You're going to see a Woodland Cemetery into a Farseek, so he's accelerating while
Farseek on the play. Again, as the person with 1 permanent in play, it doesn't feel good. You feel really behind.
That's because you are.
Right.
It's because you are.
Yeah, if you feel really behind, and that's accurate.
As you see, Jared does just have a Sacred Founder. You see him thumbing through his hand a little bit. Does have a Dragon Skull Summit. You know, does have lands and spells to play, but he is going to be a little bit behind here, and Mike's deck does have the ability to get out to some nice starts, as we saw in the previous game.
How clutch was that Tragic Slip last game on the Wolf for Silverheart to get the Mizium Mortars to kill the whole board?
Very, very
It was
big.
pretty good. It was pretty good.
See Isolated Chapel, the draw step for Jared this turn. He does play that Dragon Skull Summon and does just pass the turn back. Mike
So he did board in Dreadbore.
Mike draws a Crypt Ghast. He did not have anything to do on turn 4 before that, and he was also kind of bottlenecked on mana too, because he has 2 copies of Thraxos and Silverheart and a Prime Speaker in his hand. So there wasn't a ton that he could actually do, but that Water Grave plus his Crypt Ghast is actually going to turn his entire hand over.
Well, it would.
Well, if he
I can't imagine it survives. That is a dangerous card.
Jared draws. He draws a Godless Shrine. You see Aurelia, the War Leader.
Shrine tap Dreadbore, is that what you're feeling?
I know that's what you're feeling. I'm a little bit riskier, but...
Nah, Cryptghast is a scary Magic card. Just the turns that it represents can, like, give me nightmares. I've seen Travis Wu do some stuff on stream, man. He's done some things.
Some unspeakable things.
Yeah.
I don't know if those include drawing a swamp to play your Thragtusk, but that's what we see Mike do.
And the Thragtusk train begins rolling, which is pretty much exactly what Mike Wilson wants to do, right? Just play a bunch of Thragtusks and Wolfir Silverhearts. Like, if Jared's using 1-for-1 removal, then you're profiting, and like the mortars, even if he overloads it, you're still getting stuff off your, like, you're breaking even on your Thragtusks. If that even works because of your Wolfir Silverheart. I don't know, like, Mike Wilson could not have drawn this up very much better, and I actually think Jared's in a fine spot.
You're going to see a Mizian Mortars take care of the first half of that Thragtusk. Beast Token will be incoming. Thragtusk will
Never
take
mind.
care of that. So he's going to have to use 2 cards to get rid of that. You see in Jared's hand, he does have that Aurelia, the Unburial Rites. He's got an Olivia Voldaren as well that he chose not to play that turn, as Mike does draw another Prime Speaker of Zagana.
And there it is.
A second Thragtusk from Mike, going to bring him up to 28. Does not have a land to play, but you have to be pretty scared.
Does he have any blue?
He has 2 Water Graves.
Oh, those are Water
He
Graves.
needs an additional
I thought they
green
were
mana.
Overgrown Twins.
There's your Dragon Skull Summit, and now an Olivia Voldaren comes to town. So Haymakers back and forth.
You called it. That's what the matchup's going to be. Just super high impact cards every single turn.
Mike draws his card. He draws a Cryptghast. So he cannot cast a Wolfir Silverheart. He cannot cast either one of those Prime Speakers Zaganas, but he can slide a Cryptghast into play.
And cross his fingers.
Now there's a Wolfir Silverheart. You see Mike checking
yes.
the mana and saying, you do not have double green, my friend. That is not going to happen.
Well, in that case, Cryptghast.
So he is going to cast a Cryptghast. We'll see if he attacks that Thragtusk or not. He chooses not to.
I can't.
And I can't really,
that, no
I can't really condone that no attack either. There's no way he's going to block the Olivia there. Now the bigger question here, AJ, is if you're Jared, do you just double shoot that Cryptghast, or
yes,
you know, do you consider just shooting once with the maybe shooting once with the Thragtusk once, or some alternate line of play?
I'm too scared. I'm a big baby. I just want that guy gone. Right. I mean, Mike's been missing land drops. He's been playing a spell every turn. You gotta know that you can't let his hand open up. You gotta keep him bottlenecked here, as Jared's also kind of stuck on mana. I mean, not to the point where he can't do anything, but it is a lot better for him if he had an Aurelia in play.
So Olivia's going to come across for 5. It's going to knock Mike down to 23, and Jared does have a Tragic Flip that he could have cast on the Thragtusk, but he chose not to.
Very interesting.
So you see Mike does draw a Clone, and Clone is going to copy Olivia Voldaren to kill it. Now that will set off Morbid, and you are going to see Morbid take care of the Thragtusk.
Probably should have attacked first, but
yes,
not the biggest deal there. I'm pretty sure that this Haymaker matchup is not going to come down to nickel and diming life totals. Well, there's a land, and it's quite a good one as well.
That is a very good one with Aurelia the War Leader, which I believe we are going to see cast this turn.
Well, looks like he's going to bring back the Olivia.
All right, yeah, okay. Unburial
well, the
Rites
6th land also represents the 3rd ping for the Beast.
Sure.
So that makes sense.
Let's see if Mike's able to draw that 2nd green.
Plus, getting Olivia in play first means next turn's Aurelia, if he wants to, represents 6 more damage.
Yep. Well, now we're going to see Mike tap for a Heartless Summoning, still without double green to cast that those 2 Prime Speakers and a Wolfir Silverheart, and now he's actually considering not casting that, and the reason you see that is because 2 pings will take down that Beast Token instead of 3.
Right. Which actually, awkwardly enough, might be a good thing, because Olivia's a little small.
Yeah. Kind of some weird implications here. playing this Heartless Summoning or not.
I mean, as Mike Wilson, you got to know, even if you do get like another clone or an Unburial Rites Spirit clone to kill the Olivia, the other Unburial Rites, the back of Jared's Unburial Rites is still right there, and with mana to ping, I don't know, it's a scary position. Olivia's a scary card. It looks like he's going to go machine gun mode here.
She's 6 mana.
Oh,
it's
never
actually
mind.
going to be beatdown mode.
When he sorted his lands into 2s, I thought for sure it was Olivia pings. But it looks like we're just going to hit for 12, a casual 12, casual lethal in 2.
Just a simple attack for 12. Nothing major.
Yeah.
As Mike draws
and another uncastable
Wolfer
card
Silverheart.
from Mike.
Another card he cannot cast, and he is going to scoop
brutal,
it up.
Brutal.
Jared Petefish wins 2-0 with the Nicotine Jones Brew, the white, black, red Unburial Rites
Deck
deck.
seems sweet.